Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And you guys already know what it is. It's What If Deku Was Betrayed Part 2. And oh my god. This was a... wow. Just wow. How good the first part did of this series. So, I am going to, start right where we left off in this script. There'll also be a lot of first person, and I'll go over that when we get there. Okay. A few days after Deku left to be taken to Tartarus, many breathed a sigh of relief knowing that the person they thought was their friend was taken to justice. Many thought they were doing the world a favor by taking down a traitor they thought was their friend. After all said and done, Uraraka went to try to get Eri out of Deku's dorm room since she hasn't left it since the whole Deku incident. But that proven event futile. Yeah, I can sort of see where Eri's coming from here. like Eri being like, a little kid. She just saw her father figure being taken away, getting slapped by her mother figure, getting slapped, being handcuffed, ridiculed, and then being put into the back of a police car. Yeah, I swear, if I went through that at a young age, I haven't personally, but if I would have went through that at a young age, damn, I'd be traumatized, mate. So I've got to get where Aries coming. Where Aries coming from. But back to the story. Uraraka, concerned. Aries, sweetie, it's mommy. Why don't you come on? Now that bad man is gone, and we can have breakfast with us. Aries, heartbroken and still crying that her papa was taken from her. No, thank you, Miss Uraraka. I'm trying to do my best impressions here, mate. No, thanks, Miss Uraraka. I'm not hungry. Give me a grade A in acting. No, don't. I'm shit at it. I'm better at stand-up than impressions, but whatever. Uraraka was stunned when her daughter called her Miss Uraraka. Instead of Mama, she thought, maybe she just needed some time before by herself to cool off. Uraraka said, okay, Eri, well, Mama will be downstairs if you need her. Ugh, Jesus, I need to work on my acting. There's no response other than the sounds of sniffling going on behind the closed door. Uraraka reluctantly decided it was best to let the little girl to be enjoying everyone downstairs. As she came down, she saw Bakugo enter the dorms with a Saturn inspection. She didn't expect much to it. She thought he felt the same way everyone else did when they found out what Deku did. She joined the girls for some morning tea, but could tell something was off about them. But again, didn't pay much attention to it. The only one but to notice Bakugo's sudden change in behavior was his friend Kirishima. Hey, shark boy. That's basically what Kirishima is. He's a red-haired shark. Who walked up to him and asked how he was doing. Bakugo saddened. I can get why Bakugo saddened. His childhood best friend just got framed for something and got shipped off to the most secure freaking prison in the damn Japan. Bakugo saddened. It doesn't make any sense. Shitty hair is Kirishima, if you didn't know. How can all these damn extras not tell the difference between fake and the real deal? I know, right? Like some people in the last video, so use people either have found my script for this story or are fucking psychic, because I swear some of you have already figured the big plot hole in this whole damn thing. Like I was even surprised scrolling through scrolling through the comments of the last part. I'm like, is these people psychic or some shit? Ugh, sorry about my yawning. It's like 4 o'clock. It's like 4:30 in the morning where I am. Back to the story at hand. Kirishima pulled him into a hug to help him calm down. It works, but not much, as he could tell that Baku was fighting the urge to go on a rampage on those who didn't believe in his green-haired friend, but he calms down and just heads to his dorm. I want to see that. I want to see Baku go on a goddamn rampage and blow everyone straight to hell that didn't believe in Deku. After some time, the class noticed that Eri still hasn't come out down to eat, which Kirishima volunteered to take her some food. Makes sense. When he was walking towards Deku's dorm room, he failed to notice that Uraraka was following him to see if her white-haired daughter was okay. Kirishima made it to the room and lightly knocked on the door, waiting for her response. Yeah. Again, it's like 4:30 in the morning. He heard a faint, "Who is it?" and then followed by sniffling. Kirishima, worried, of course. It's Eri, who wouldn't be worried. She's, crying. Kirishima worried. "Eri, it's me, Kirishima. I brought you some food. Maybe you can eat it. Maybe you can eat something. We're worried for you." The door slowly opens to reveal the puffy-eyed, white-haired little girl, who looked like she had just lost everything once again and was back with Chisaki, aka Overhaul. Basically, she looks like she just got kidnapped by Overhaul and tortured again. Like, shit. Like, just imagine it. Like, the bean Eri, the precious cinnamon roll that is Eri, looking like she just lost everything and getting tortured by Overhaul again. Like, man, that's just sad. Eri, tears, tries to talk through tears. Sorry to worry you, Uncle Kiri. Kirishima immediately sets the food down and hugs the little girl. Kirishima determined. Don't worry, little one. We'll get your papa back. I know he didn't do it." Bakugo, even more determined. Like, damn, he's determined. He's not the only one who wants to help prove that damn nerd didn't do anything. Both Eri and Kirishima both looked up to see Bakugo showing a determined gaze that showed that he meant business, and they couldn't help but smile at the ash blonde teen. It's good to know Bakugo's, not like a fucking idiot. Eri, she gives a small smile. "Thank you, Uncle Kachan and Uncle Kiri, for believing in Papa." Bakugo smirks. "No problem, Squirt. We know your dad wouldn't do any of this. That was when Uraraka finally made herself known and comes marching towards the trio. Uraraka, angry. "Don't tell her lies. We all saw it. We all know that Deku was guilty. He betrayed us all." The sudden outburst caused the little girl to hide behind her uncles, who stood up between the little girl and a very angry gravity user. Hashtag Uraraka a bitch in the comments. I want to see it. I want to see hashtag bitch in the comments. I better see it, or I swear to God. The outburst was so loud that it attracted the rest of the class. Come rushing to the scene. Ida was the first to speak when the class arrived. Ida, class rep mode on. "Uraraka, what is the meaning of this sudden yelling?" Uraraka points to Bakugo and Kirishima. "They were telling lies to my daughter, saying Deku was innocent, when they all know it isn't true." That's when Eri decided to poke her head from behind Uncle Kiri's leg. Eri's scared and angry. Scared and angry at the same time. I haven't heard that one before. To be honest, I've never heard of it nor experienced it. "You're wrong, Miss Uraraka. Papa didn't do any of this. If he did, then why would he save me and give me a home? That is true. If he was the traitor, why would he save Eri from Overhaul and give her a home? Another big reason. Like, legitimately. If he was, like, an actual villain, he'd probably sell her back to fucking Chisaki. Many were stunned to hear Ari call Uraraka Miss Uraraka instead of Mama. They thought the little girl may just be under some stress after finding out the person who saved her was a villain, but they were so very wrong. Azui, Frog Girl, Frobby, whatever you want to call her. Eri is right. Why would Midoriya do all of this when he saved us time and time again? She slowly walks towards the trio and stands by their side. Uraraka can't help. Not Uraraka. Eri couldn't help but smile, knowing that there were others who believed in her papa. Eri cries tears of joy. Thank you, Auntie Sue. Frobby smiles towards the little girl. No problem, kiddo. Ribbit. Because she's a still fucking cat. Not a cat. Fucking frog. I would list down the people who believe in Deku, but I don't have time for that. And this is gonna be a longer video, since I can record past 15 minutes now, and I actually have time on my hands. Back to where I was. Now, where was I? Here we go. Jiro and Kirishima both began walking to the quartet. Kaminari. I said it once, and I'll say it again. Midoriya has done so much for us, and he's come so far just to throw it all away. Jiro nods in agreement. I'm jamming what he. I'm with jamming what here. Midoriya is kind-hearted person who goes above and beyond for those who need. Those in need. She can help but have a faint blush. After saying that. But luckily no one noticed. No, I'm not doing a Deku X Jiro one. No. Stop. Before haters go down in the fucking comments. No. I'm not. It's for plot reasons. Because everyone has about everyone has a crush on Deku. But I'm not doing a harem because that sounds like too much fucking work. Eri couldn't help but smile through her tears. Uncle Kami, Uncle Auntie Jiro. There we go. I said it all right. They both looked at the girl and gave her the smile, telling her everything will be okay. Shoji, I think that's the six-arm dude, dupla arms dude. And Koda, I think that's not the kid, the animal whisperer. We're the next ones to walk to the group. Soji, I might not know Midoriya on a personal level, but I do know what he'll do anything it takes to save his friends, just like in the camp attack. That is true. Koda nodded in agreement, and what Soji said was saying as they joined the group. Eri, her tears were drying up, now giving a bigger smile. Uncle Sho, Uncle Ko, I don't fucking know. That even rhymed. They both looked at the girl and gave her a nod. The group that believed Deku was a traitor couldn't believe what they were hearing. Their classmates, their friends, all believed that traitor was, with overwhelming evidence, my ass. One video against him was innocent. Ida, frustrated, are you guys insane? He played us for fools. He's a villain, and you're all insane for helping him. Oh, just wait for what happens later on in the story. These bitches gotta get smoked. Todoroki, then I guess you were insane too for believing in our friend. The group turns to see Ashido, Invisible Girl, Todoroki, Momo, all walking towards the group surrounding the little girl in a protective manner. Basically Mina, Invisible Girl, Todoroki, and Momo. Eri couldn't help but start shedding a few tears of joy, as they were people who believed her papa, Uncle Todo, Uncle Auntie Invisible Girl, Auntie Mina, and Auntie Momo. Everyone, thank you for believing in my papa. They all just looked they all had the little girl smile and nod. They then slowly turned to the classmates with a glare. Uraraka furious. Eri, come to mommy right now. You don't need to be with these people who can't tell what's real and what's fake. Eri hid behind Uncle Kiri's leg once it more from the sudden outburst, but poked her out and said something. Airy, man, you're not my mama. The mama I know said she would promise to help Papa no matter what the situation, but you broke that promise. Uraraka was heartbroken. Her daughter told her that she wasn't her mama anymore. Ida, frustrated but trying to remain calm. I see it appears that we are at an impasse of seeing the truth that Midoriya is being a villain. This will be surely make class cooperation very difficult. And they just go their separate ways. With the ones that thought Deku was a villain returning to the common space, leaving their insane, and I put insane in quotes because we all know that's not true, classmates behind. After that, the ones who believed gave a sign of relief, knowing that they didn't have to change the escalate, then they already have. No, things escalate, then they already have. They decided to hold a meeting and try to figure out about how to proving their green-haired friends / papas was innocent. But little did they know that they were going to have a lot more complicated when they went to the next day in class. Like I said, I can record videos longer than 15 minutes now, so this video is going to be longer than usual. And I got time on my hands, and I feel like I want to get to the... I want to at least get past the first part of this script. Get to the good part, the juicy stuff. Where we actually shift back over to freaking Deku's shift back over to Deku's point of view. But right now we gotta do all this trash. Okay. Nezu tried to keep the arrest of Zuko Midoriya under the table, but somehow news spreads about what happened to the Class 1A student. Many students were conflicted. Many who have been well acquainted with the young green hero thought it was just rumors. Today was a joint hero course training with classes 1A and 1B. The big three decided to observe the future heroes in training, but can tell right away that something's off about the students of 1A. Many kept giving each other death glares. That's when Mr. Aizawa decided to speak about his class cleared division. Mr. Aizawa, annoyed and tired, as always. Okay, it's clear that something happened between you all. Spit it out, what's going on? Ida, frustrated. It's because these fools can tell the difference between a hero and a villain, even if they are right on their noses. Bakugo, angered. Who are you calling fools? You're the fool, right? You're just... Let me start over. Bakugo, angered. Who are you calling fools, you four-eyed fuck? Just because we didn't give up on the person who didn't give up on us. The big three were confused and stunned that they knew some of the students of 1A had a rivalry going on, but this was on a whole other level. The same could be said about Class 1B, who were just confused about the classes who were supposed to be better than them. Monoma, annoyed. What are you Class 1A scum arguing about? It's getting annoying. Ida, calm down. It's because they can't accept the fact that Midoriya was a villain. And they refuse to see the truth, even if given the evidence right in front of them. They even turned poor Eri against her mother figure. Eri, who was standing near behind Mr. Aizawa, decided to say something to them. They didn't do anything to me, Mr. Ida. It's that you guys can't see Papa did nothing wrong. The members of the group couldn't help but feel hurt that Eric called them Mr. and Mrs. rather than Uncle or Mama. But knew it wasn't matter before they saw the truth. I don't know who the oldest character is. Oh, Mirio, that's his first name. Mirio, trying to defuse the situation. Okay, guys, calm down. Does this have anything to the rumor circling around Midoriya? They nod and begun to tell the big three, and along with one being, what about having evolved Deku as the traitor? Was shocked as was an understatement. Mirio, trying to see if this as if they were joking. Good one, guys. You almost had us there, but no way Midoriya is a traitor. I've seen him in action, and I don't buy the whole traitor thing. Me too, mate. Like, if I heard Deku was the traitor without, like, legitimate solid evidence, I would not believe it. Eri smiling. See, Uncle Miri, I think that's how you pronounce it, can see that Papa is innocent. Why can't you see it all? You get frustrated. You're just blind like the rest of our classmates. This caused the big three and Mr. Aizawa to look towards them annoyed, but trying to stand calm and keep the situation under control. Aizawa annoyed, not tired, just annoyed. Okay, that's enough. There's no way for heroes in training should be acting toward each other. We will discuss this in class later, but for now, we're going to do training at hand. And so they did. It was a simple 20v19. Capture the flag, 1A versus 1B. But with all the infighting, 1B was victorious, but felt it was undeserved considering their opponents were mainly fighting each other. Yeah, like, if I was fighting against a team who was not, like, cooperating with each other at the time, I wouldn't feel like that was a win. I'd take the win, but I just didn't feel like it was a legitimate win. Aizawa was the most disappointed. He never knew that he put so much thought in how much his problem child would impact the class with his absence. Sadly, the info they were gathering, trying to prove his innocence, was been little to none. It was lunchtime, and like before, 1A was divided into two groups, the believers and the non-believers. Uraraka tried to get Eri to join her mama, quotes, around that, for lunch, but she refused and went to sit with her aunties and uncles who believed her faith in her papa. To say that Uraraka was hurt, but by all this was an understatement. She was trying to get the little girl to come with her to try spend some mother-daughter time, but that all for it. Eri was saying the things in the line, "You're not my mama anymore," or "You broke your promise, you didn't believe in Papa." That's when the proclaimed big sister of 1B and a few fellow classmates decided to get to the bottom of this split up class. So they decided to take a group. Each get their side of the story. She was of the group consisted of some 1B girls. I have no idea. I don't know who any of these damn people are. Basically, some of 1B and some of 1A go to each groups. So for group A of 1B, go to the believers. They sit next to them, to the group's confusion, but they let it slide for some reason. They have no reason not to sit there, minus Monoma. Monoma's a bitch. Kendo clears her throat to get their attention. It's obvious that there's a rift between your guys' class ever since Midoriya left. Can you share your side of the story, please? Monoma, impatient. Yeah, I'm curious as well of what happened. So, one of the few people I actually had respect for are a part of your scum class. What? The group were stunned at what Mono said, considering that he didn't show respect towards anyone but his own class. But they decided to leave that for now and began to explain what happened to the day the Deku was found guilty, and explained a little bit about those who didn't know him too well. As 1B students listened closely to the story their 1A counterparts told, they were developing feelings of sympathy for the green-haired boy no longer among them. By the end of the explanation, many at the table began to tear up a bit, knowing what happened to their fellow classmate. Couldn't help but feel anger towards the ones who didn't even attempt to hear him out. At lunch, as the lunch ended, they returned to class. It was quiet. It was a quiet class, which allowed Aizawa to take his sleeping bag out and began to nap. But one could feel the tension in the air, with more attempts from Uraraka to try to get Eri to sit with her, but she still refused and went with her auntie Jiro. When classes ended, the class split, with some heading to the support class to upgrade their gear, while the rest returned to the dorms But what surprise with an unexpected visitor? What's this time at? 25? We could go a little longer. Yeah. I'm gonna say we're gonna do up here till we get to Zuko's point of view in jail. So we got a little longer. So we got a little longer to go. So yeah. I might even should I touch on Zuko's point of view in prison? Nah. I wanna make this series longer than most. More or less. In front of the dorms, the believers returned to the surprise to see a certain blonde with blue eyes standing in front of the dorms. She immediately recognized Jiro and Yaozu. She ran out to them. Melissa Shield, as in the chick from the movie 2 Heroes, MHA's 2 Hero movie. Yeah, that chick. Excited. Hey guys, it's been a while, hasn't it? They looked at her in surprise, but welcomed one. It was a fresh breath of air to talk to someone who didn't pick a side or didn't know what was going on. Yeah, Momo, smiling, saving my life from pronouncing. Yeah, it has been a while. How have you been, Melissa? Melissa Shield. Basically, yeah. Returning smile. Oh, much better. The situation at Island has been returning back to normal. And Papa was able to get get a light sentencing considering all the work he's done over the years. Jiro smiles. That's good to hear. Alright, you should probably been introduced to our classmates. Points a finger. Points at a pair of floating clothes. That's an invisible girl. Points to a pink-haired friend. This is Mina Ishido. Nice to meet you. Very excited. They couldn't help but give a chuckle at the energy that the girl lets when they lit us. There was still a little girl hiding behind Kirishima's leg. Melissa curious. She bends down, so she's at eye level. Hi, sweetheart. What are you doing? What aren't you the cutest little thing? My name's Melissa Shield, and you? Man. I'm gonna keep going until we get to the part where we're at Zuko in jail. Eri, Shy, Eri, Midoriya. Melissa freezes when he hears last name. She hears the last name. She looked at the rest of the class group who had nervous smiles. Melissa gets back up and is confused. Did she just say her last name was Midoriya? Todoroki monotoned as usual. Yeah, sure. In short, Midoriya saved her from a Yakuza gang leader and basically adopted her. Melissa nods her head in understanding. She then asked the question about mood, out of the mood, from happy to depressed. Again, I have not fully decided on a ship yet, so chillax. I have not completely decided on a ship. Melissa, blushing. Again, have not decided on a ship. Don't yell at me. So, where is Deku? I managed to replicate and improve my full gauntlets and thought he might need them, she said. Holds up a briefcase to show them. Basically, those red gauntlets that you had in the movie. The group began holding their heads down, much to Melissa's confusion. Eri tearing up. Papa, he was Uraraka, annoyed. This bitch comes out of nowhere. Uraraka, annoyed, was a traitor right under our noses, and these idiots can't see it. Bitch, you just called Eri an idiot. Call Eri idiot again, and I'll find a way to break your nose. I don't give a damn. This got the group by surprise. They turned around to see the people that they couldn't stand anymore. Melissa, confused even more. What are you talking about, Ochako? Uraraka calmed down. Turns out that he was the traitor all this time. He stole some files and gave them to the LOV, League of Villains. Melissa was surprised beyond belief. She may have only known Deku for a few days, but she felt she'd known him for her entire life. She refused to believe about what she was saying. Say something. She was about to say something when Eri, mad. No, Papa wouldn't do that. There it was again. Melissa understood why she called him Papa, but her heart clenched to figure out whose the girl mother was, because that meant they were together. Melissa confused, so, Ari, if Deku's her papa, then who's your mama? Before the little girl could answer, Uraraka jumped in. Uraraka smug, that would be me. She's seemed confused after everything what happened to Deku. Melissa slightly saddened, so that means you and Deku, or does that mean you're together with Deku then? Uraraka huffed. We were. I saw he was the traitor. I felt heartbroken, and that day I convinced that basically broke up with him, and now, come on, Ari. I had to make some after-school snacks. What the hell just happened over here? Oh, it's just that. Okay, we're good. Like something fell and scared the shit out of me, and I wanted to know what the hell it was. Ari, man, I already told you, Miss Uraraka, you're not my mama anymore. You broke your promise to Papa and didn't stand by him like you said. Didn't stand by him like when he stood by us. That was when Ida and the rest of the non-believers caught up to the Uraraka, annoyed about their previous interaction with a certain pink-haired inventor. They looked up to see Melissa, with a few recognized without hesitation. Ida, confused and welcoming. Ah, Melissa, we owe the expected visit. Melissa came out of her thought. Oh right, holds up the briefcase. Well, I improved the gauntlets for give them to Deku, but since he's not here anymore, trying to comfort. I know it feels trust me. Melissa looks at him confused. What do you mean? I know I may not known Deku long as you guys, but from the time I spent with him, I can tell he wouldn't do such a thing. Again, another person who's not fucking idiot. Oh, I'm ready for the stupid people who show up. That good stuff. If you've been on this channel for a while, you already know. Ida and his friends were surprised to hear this. They thought someone who's the daughter of one of the most brilliant minds in the world, and who also helped All Might when he lived in America, would see some reason. Ida, disappointed. I see you're just blind as the rest of them. This leaves Melissa stunned as she watches the group walk past them, when Uraraka still trying to get Eri to come with her, but failed. This left Melissa the believers and Eri to be the last ones to enter the dorms. Melissa joined the believers and tried to get a rundown on what's going on. What she heard almost brought tears to her eyes, shaking it with frustration because the man that she had a slight crush, just a slight one. I still haven't decided on our ship, so chill out. On had been wrongfully convinced, and his friends so-called friends and girlfriends, and even given the chance, nor did he get a fair trial. Like, he's just like they kick down the door. Zukumador, you are under arrest, but we're not going to give you a fair trial. We're just going to put you in handcuffs right now. Eri looks at Melissa concerned. Miss She? How do you know my papa? Melissa felt happy that little Eri gave her a nickname and began to tell the tale of what happened at Island and how Deku and his friends saved them. Melissa smiling, and that's when Deku and All Might were side by side and delivered a powerful duo smash towards the villain who caused all that destruction. Eri couldn't help but smile after hearing another awesome tale of her papa's adventures. Melissa's slightly serious, but still holds a smile. After that, and from what you told me, I can tell Deku was wronged. If he was a villain, then why would he save Island or Papa for that matter? Eri couldn't help but smile and tear up. She immediately rushes towards Melissa and thanked her for being someone who believed in her Papa. Eri crying, thank you, Auntie. Melissa was taken back by this by being called auntie, but she didn't care and hugged the little girl back. While all this was going on, Eden Uraraka heard this, and felt even more hurt. First, a friend they trusted has turned out to be a villain, and now a friend that they hadn't seen or heard from in a good long while has come to visit, and they were given the facts. They couldn't believe they trusted a traitor. Most realization. Oh right, there was actually another reason why I came to UA. I'm actually gonna be transferring here and be a part of the sport course. The mentions of the sport course didn't sit right with Ida and his group, and now even more that the mention of Melissa joining it and knowing that she believed a traitor. Give me a second, Jesus. Reading these scripts for a very long time really dries your throat out. This is why I always have something to drink on. Like I said, this could be a long video. A few minutes prior, in front of the support course workshop, Ida Uraraka and their friends arrive at the sport course workshop. They're going to see about some upgrades for their hero suits to get away from their so-called classmates. The moment they reach the door to an all-familiar workshop, Uraraka and Ida stopped them and put their arms out to stop their very confused classmates until they heard an explosion occurring, blowing out the door off its hinges again. This stunned everyone present, minus Uraraka and Ida, who caused the explosion. Out of the smoke came the voice of the workshop teacher, Power Loader. Power Loader, cough. Dang it, Hatsumi, cough. I told you, cough. Not to connect those wires. Cough. Corona. He got the corona. Hatsumi, pink-haired chick, giggling while upside down on the wall. The beautiful. That's the beauty of it, Mr. Power Loader. We would have never known that would have happened if we didn't connect them. That was when Ida decided to make it their presence known to the energetic inventor. Ida clears throat. It's good to see that you're still as lively as ever, Hatsumi. The girl in question turned her head to see the group and was immediately right in their faces. Hatsumi, energetic. One of my favorite customers. To what do I owe the pleasure? Do you need any sport items or maybe suit upgrades? I'm speaking very fast because it legit says energetic. They couldn't even get a word out of how fast she was talking. That was when she noticed a certain someone wasn't with them. Hatsumi, confused. Hey, where's Midoriya? He usually stops by around here. It's time for some upgrades or just to hang out. And where's that little snowball that's always with him? I just finished her costume. They could tell that she wasn't caught up on the latest news, and she told her everything that was about to find out, and being a traitor and the class was divided. Hatsumi for some reason couldn't help but laugh. Good one, guys. There's no way Muscles could be a traitor. He helped me more times than not, and he risked his life to save a little girl and gave her a home. She couldn't help but say this with a faint blush on her face. That went unnoticed. All except a certain teacher. Okay, let me get this straight. Basically, most of the chicks in 1A has a crush on Deku. I'm just pointing that out. Again, haven't, ow, my shoulder. Haven't decided on a ship. But from the freaking comments from last video, a lot of you were suggesting Deku X Nedry. Ugh. Jesus. Uraraka annoyed. It's true, I can't believe I fell in love with a villain. I hope he rots in prison. After hearing what Uraraka just said, Hatsumi couldn't help but feel a string of jealousy towards the brunette, and a bit of anger towards her. and her friends not believing in deku. Hatsumi, serious? Well, if you, if you excuse me, I got more babies to work on. Her experiments. Don't get the wrong idea. Ida confused, but what about our upgrades? Hatsumi stops at the door and looks at them. I refuse to work with people who do not even believe to help their friends. After that, she immediately shuts the door to the workshop and left a confused and annoyed group of students. Yeah, if I was an inventor and people who couldn't even believe in their friend come to me for upgrades, hell no. Fuck off, get out of my workshop. Uraka annoyed. Come on, guys, let's head back to the dorms. I'm sure she just needs to wrap her head around the truth. And so they left, leaving an irritated inventor in her workshop to be contemplated on going toward the dorm to give the little girl her costume modeled after her father's hero suit. Or just wait. She chose just to wait. Give it to her tomorrow. She needed to finish a few things anyway. Plus, she couldn't help but feel frustrated towards her so-called friends for not believing the person who was her first and real friend and who she had secret feelings for. Again, most of the chicks have a crush on Deku. She couldn't help but shed a few tears knowing the first person she'd actually had feelings for was taken away for something she knows he didn't do. Power Loader came to her and put his hand on her shoulder and tried to comfort her. He's never seen her like this, and felt more frustrated as he was one of the few teachers that also believed in his innocence. And now seeing that one of his students filled with him with more determination, try to prove his innocence. Present time, back at the dorms. Melissa was just left to go unpack her stuff in the support course dorms, and now everyone's trying to relax with a major tension in the air. Kaminari stressed, man, I really need to find a way to prove my quirk control. Too bad Midori isn't here. He'd probably know what to do. After Kaminari said that, a light bulb went off in Bakugo's head. Bakugo realization. Quick. Say that again, Pikachu? Kaminari, confused. Okay, I wish Midoriya was here to help me with my quirk control. Bakugo jumps out of his seat. That's it! This causes everyone in the common room to look at the Explodo blonde in confusion, and he says, Bakugo explaining, the nerd is a quirk nerd. And he has those notebooks full of quirks, even ours. Mina, catching on. Wait, you mean that notebook he brings out of nowhere? Bakugo grabs Ishido by the shoulders and starts shaking her. That's right, Raccoon Eyes. If I remember, the nerd has 13 or 14 of them, full of quirk information, including everyone in the class. That's when the realization that they just found a way to prove their friend's innocence. That's when Mr. Aizawa came into the dorms to be delivered the announcement. Aizawa, tired like always. Okay, listen up. We're going to field trip tomorrow to the USJ and try to work together this time. That's when Bakugo and the rest of the believers came running up to Aizawa, causing him to step back in the sudden rush of students. Excuse me. Eri. Excited Uncle Kachan said he found a way to prove Papa didn't do anything wrong. This caught the tired hero's attention towards the students with the question. Tired yet happy talk, Bakugo. Bakugo explaining, okay, the nerd loves to study quirks. This gets a nod from the teacher. Well, the files, as you said, that they were stolen were all about our quirks, right? This gets another nod from the still not seeing what's going on. Well, the nerd actually already had all that information in those notebooks he pulls out of nowhere. So why would he need to steal files when he has the information right in his back pocket? This caused Aizawa to smirk, knowing his problem child would be free sooner than expected. Aizawa smiling. For once, not a shit-eating grin, like genuinely smiling. Shit, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I need to finish this up. Aizawa, smiling, get me those notebooks and meet me at Principal Nezu's office as fast as you can. You're afraid to use your quirk to speed up. Just don't cause any unnecessary destruction, understand? This gets a nod from everyone in the group, and from the blonde who rushes towards Deku's apartment, while he tells the rest of the group to search Deku's dorm to find any of their notebooks. Bakugo rushes up the stairs toward Deku's apartments and knocks like a madman. The door opens to reveal a teary-eyed woman who seemed to be confused at why Bakugo's there. Bakugo, tired. Auntie, Inko, I think I found a way to prove Deku is innocent. The now named Inko Midoriya immediately ushers Bakugo into her apartment to have explained. Mrs. Midoriya, surprised. You mean my baby will get out of that god-awful prison? Inko couldn't help but start shedding tears of joy, knowing that her baby was going to be a free man, but still couldn't help but feel some sort of resentment towards those who put him in there. Bakugo excited. Yes, Auntie. I just need his hero analysis journals from... That should be more than enough. Inko couldn't help but hug the blonde who showed him where Deku had left hero analysis for the future, number 1 through 10, at home. And by the time he rushed out, over UA, he saw the remaining ones. So the group with the remaining ones. He quickly gave each other a nod and raced toward Nezu's office. The power of their friend's innocence, to prove their friend's innocence. As they arrived, they didn't even knock, they just barged right in. But what they saw caused them to stop dead in their tracks. They saw Nezu, and his face. They see Nezu with his face in his paws in guilt and disappointment. They saw Aizawa and All Might standing in the corners with their arms crossed, with pissed look on their face, and Himiko Toga standing in front of Nezu with grief and regret. Mina, concerned. What's she doing here? Jiro, concerned. Yeah, how'd she even get in here? Aizawa, frustrated. Apparently she has something to tell us, but we chose it to best wait for all you here. All Might, frustrated. Now, young Toga, would you be so kind to tell them what exactly you told me? Toga, sadness. It's my fault Izu is locked up. The first person who ever showed me any real kindness started staring up. It's my fault I sent him for that godforsaken prison. Kirishima, confused. What are you talking about? Toga, crying. It's when you guys were taking the professional license exam. I snuck in and was able to steal some of Izu's blood. My quirk is called Transform. It requires blood for allowing me to turn into that person. I used Izu's blood to sneak in and steal those pianos. I don't deserve forgiveness, but for what it's worth, I'm sorry and I want to make things right. The group just stayed quiet, processing what they had heard. They noticed Eri was no longer behind Kirishima's leg and was walking towards Toga. They tried to stop her, but something told him them to let it happen. Eri, concerned. How do you know, Papa? Toga, sniffling. I saw him first when we attacked his training camp and saw him heavily injured. Something told me to keep an eye on him. It wasn't until a few weeks later and when we ran into each other on the streets, he immediately recognized me, but didn't try to arrest me. But instead showed me something I haven't seen or felt in a long time. Kindness. He actually took me around town. We shopped and we went to a cafe. We weren't heroes or villains. We were just two high school students hanging out. It was when I started to feel something towards Izu, something I hadn't felt in a long time. Eri smiled as she listened, and she knew she was telling the truth by the way she described her papa. She knew her papa would always try to help those in need after what he did with her. Eri hugs Toga, catching everyone off guard. I love you. You love Papa, don't you? And you regret hurting him. Toga cried even harder and returned the hug. I do, and I messed up so bad I don't think he'll talk to me. Eri keeps hugging Toga. I know Papa would talk to you after hearing what you did for him and trying to make things right. Toga couldn't help but cry. Kept hugging the little girl. Everyone smiles at the scene. Baku realization. Oh, right. We brought some of the nerds' journals. Baku collects the rest of them, plops them on his desk, which caused the rodent principal to look up in grief-ridden eyes and began to look through them. I saw one I couldn't help but feel pride in their students who went against all odds to prove their friend's innocence. Nezu, regret. It appears that with this new evidence proves that our actions that were a bit hasty. We will see that Mr. Midori is free as early as tomorrow afternoon, and we will leave Miss Toga's punishment in the hands of Mr. Midoriya. They couldn't help but smile knowing their friends proven innocent, seeing him. Aizawa smirking. Well done, students, but it's late. I think you should head back to class, and after all, you got a trip to the USJ tomorrow. And we don't want that. We don't want problems with that child seeing his friends and daughter looking like me, do ya? They couldn't help but chuckle and laughed, but not after thanking them and thanking Toga for coming through in the end. With one last hug from Eri to Toga, the believers left the dorms to await from their friend's return, and some planning to tell him how they truly feel, but everything might not go the same after tomorrow. Well, that's it for this part, guys. Like I said in the beginning, this one's gonna be a long-ass part. Since I can record videos past 15 minutes, expect longer parts nowadays. Expect longer videos other than 15 minutes. But, yeah. That's it for this part, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Peace.